Hello class 9th. Today we are going to start with the lesson number 1 of class 9th, the Harappan civilization. Main objectives of the topic are as follows: introduction, sources, meaning of civilization, Harappan or Indus Valley civilization, origin of Harappan civilization, extent and chief centers, main features of the Harappan civilization, the drainage system, civic organization. Today we will discuss this topic. Before discussion of the topic, we must know the following terms. Important terms are as follows. Civilization. A civilization is a system of social development where people share common elements. Tribes. A social division in a traditional society consisting of family or communities. Architecture, art of designing and constructing buildings. Government, a group of people with the authority to govern a country. A script, handwriting as distinct from print or the written text of a play. Deciphered, convert a text written in code or a coded signal into a normal language. Archaeologist, a person who studies human history, make analysis of artifacts and other physical remains. Excavated, act or processing of digging when something specific is being removed from the ground. Radiocarbon method. Radiocarbon method is a method for determining the age of an object containing organic material. Subcontinent. Large part of the continent which is separated from the main continent by natural features like India is a subcontinent of Asia. Today we are going to discuss the topic Harappan civilization. Introduction. A civilization is a system of social development where the large number of people share a variety of common elements. There are several theories about the origin of Harappan civilization. We get information about the Harappan civilization from various sources like seal, citadel, great bath, beard man, dancing girl, dockyard, scripts, etc. Harappan civilization, also known as Indus Valley civilization. Why? Because Harappa was a place where the civilization was found on the bank of river Indus. The discoverer of Indus Valley civilization in the 20th century was an important event in the history of India. Up to this time, it was believed that the history of India began with the advent of Aryans. But the discovery of Harappan civilization stretched back the origin of Indian history. Our knowledge of the Harappan civilization is based entirely on the archaeological remains such as building, pottery, sculpture, seals and cemeteries, etc. Now let's come to the reading part. Lesson number 1. Harappan civilization. Sources. We get information about the Harappan civilization from various sources, the chief being the Great Bath, citadel, seals, beard man, dancing girl, dockyard, scripts, etc. Dockyard, it is a place where the ships are made and repaired. All these sources have been fully explained in this chapter, so they need no repetition. It means civilization is defined as an advanced stage of human cultural development. It implies the use of the superior technology and complex economic relationship. There are a number of traits which mark as a civilization like Great Bath, Citadel. Citadel means it is a raised platform where the granaries are made. Seal, beardman, dancing girl, dockyard, script, etc. These all are the features to recognize the Harappan civilization. The meaning of the term civilization. Civilization comes from the Latin word civics, means the someone who resides in a town. The people are thought to be civilized when they are organized themselves into a stable and efficient groups instead of operating separately in a small tribes. It means civilization is a system of social development where large number of people share the variety of common elements by living together. Beyond this, we would expect that any civilization to be recognizable by its language, arts, and architecture, education and intellectual achievements, government, and ability to defend itself. We can recognize any civilization through its language, art, and architecture, education, government, and ability to defend it. The Harappan civilization or Indus Valley civilization. The first and the best example of Indus Valley civilization was found at Harappa. So this civilization sometimes it called Harappan civilization or Harappan culture. Means the Indus Valley civilization first of all found at the place Harappa. Now presently it is in Pakistan. That is why this Indus Valley civilization is also known as Harappan civilization. Origin of Harappan civilization. It is not very easy to determine the exact period of Harappan civilization unless the script is deciphered. However, the archaeologist Sir John Marshall, under whose guidance the site of Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa was excavated, though it is belonged to this period 3250 BC, BC means before the Christian era, to 2750 BCE. Recent test by the radiocarbon method. As we have discussed about the radiocarbon method is a method for determining the age of an object containing the organic material. Radiocarbon method has been placed in between 2500 BC and 1750 BC. It is the same period when the Egyptian and Mesopotamian civilization prospered. The mature phase of the Indus Valley civilization can be specified between 2200 BC and 2000 BCE. Means it was not easy to determine the exact period of Harappan civilization unless its script is deciphered. Deciphered means whatever the text it is written in code or the coded signals into the normal languages. Archaeologist Sir John Marshall tried to find out its age through the method of radiocarbon method. Radiocarbon method, as we have discussed, is a method for determining the age of an object containing the organic material. And this was the mature phase of the Indus Valley civilization when the Egyptian and Mesopotamian civilization was also prospered. Egyptian civilization was on the bank of river Nile and Mesopotamian civilization in between the two rivers, that is the Tigris and Euphrates. Extent and chief centers. By now, more than 250 centers of Harappan culture have been discovered in different areas of northwestern part of subcontinent. Subcontinent means it is a part of the continent but which is getting separated from the main continent through physical features like India. These sites are scattered in Punjab, Sindh, Balochistan, Gujarat, Rajasthan, and fringes of the western Uttar Pradesh. This civilization extended from Ropar in the north to the valley of Narmada and Tapti in the south, and from the Meerut in the upper Ganga Yamuna Dawab in the east to the Suktar Gender on the Makran coast of South Balochistan in the west. Means more than 250 centers of Harappan culture have been discovered in different areas of northwestern part of subcontinent, that is India. These sites are scattered in Punjab, Sindh, Balochistan, Gujarat, Rajasthan and some parts of the western UP. The extension of Harappan civilization in the north, Ropar, in the south, Narmada and Tapti, western side, that is Suktar Gender on Makran coast of South Balochistan, and eastern side, Meerut in Uttar Ganga Yamuna Dawab. Dawab means land between the two rivers. Important sites. On the 250 sites of Indus Valley or the Harappan civilization, so far discovered, Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa are considered to be the most important. These were also the two biggest centers of this civilization. Out of the 250 Indus Valley civilization centers, the two most prominent centers were Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa. They are considered the most important centers and they are the biggest centers of this civilization, means civilization of Indus Valley. We will discuss about Mohenjo-Daro and Harappan civilization. Mohenjo-Daro. In Sindhi language, it means the mound of deads, means heap of the dead bodies. It was chief city of Indus Valley civilization and probably the capital of the southern region from the ruins. The archaeologists have come to the conclusion that it was once a well planned city with the straight, wide roads and the very highly developed system of drainage and sanitation. It means Mohenjo-Daro was very important city of Indus Valley civilization and it may be considered the capital of the southern region of Indus Valley civilization. Moreover, archaeologists came to the conclusion that once it was a planned city with a right angle roads with highly developed system of drainage and sanitation. Sanitation means cleanliness. Harappa. The ruins of this city was discovered at a distance of 160 kilometers from Lahore on the Ravi River. It was probably the capital of northern region. It was a well-planned city like Mohenjo-Daro. It was bigger in area than Mohenjo-Daro. It was the first city of the Indus Valley civilization to be excavated in 1921. Harappa is another important city of Indus Valley civilization, which may be considered the capital of the northern region of Indus Valley civilization. And this city was bigger than Mohenjo-Daro. Moreover, it was the first city to be excavated in 1921. Other important centers beside Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa were the Chahnudaru in Sindh, Pakistan, about 130 kilometers south of Mohenjo-Daro, Lothal in Gujarat, near Ahmedabad, Kalibangan in northern Rajasthan, Alamgirpur near Hastinapur in Uttar Pradesh, and Mitahal in Hisar district of Haryana. It means beyond the Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, there were the other centers of Indus Valley civilization. They were as follows, like Ahmednagar, Kalibangan, Alamgirpur in Hastinapur, Mitadal and Hisar, etc. Now we will discuss the main feature of Harappan civilization. Urban planning or town planning. The most striking feature of Harappan civilization is the urban planning. While the Sumerian sites were developed around the temple and followed the circular pattern, the Indus sites followed the grid pattern. This is indicated by the uniformity in planning, alignment of streets, planning of houses and public buildings, with the provisions for the thoroughfare. Each city was divided into the two parts. To the west of each city was citadel. Citadel means it is a buildings made on the raised platform. Built on the high platform, that is a public buildings. Religious structures and the granaries were built on the citadel. Granaries means where the grains are stored. The ruling class comprising rich merchants and the priest lived there. The citadel was surrounded by a wall, possibly as a protection against invasion. Invasion means attacks or floods. Below the citadel, there was a lower town or the town proper. It means the cities were built on the grid system, like the modern New York and Chandigarh. The roads were 4 to 10-meter wide, cut each other at the right angle, dividing the city into two blocks. There was also an arrangement for the street lighting. Each city was divided into two parts. One is a citadel side, second one is a lower town. On the citadel side, there are religious structures. Granaries were built on citadel. Granaries means that is where the grains are stored. Moreover, the ruling class, which is comprising of the rich merchants and priests, they also live on the citadel side. The other class peoples they live in the lower town. The main street followed the grid pattern, running from north to south and from east to west. The houses stood on the both sides of the streets and were rounded at the corners to allow cars to move easily. The streets crossed one another at right angle, dividing the city into two squares or rectangle blocks. The houses ranged from single rooms to bigger houses with courtyards having up to the 12 rooms. Most of the houses had double stories. They were made to burn bricks and mud mortar. Every house had a bathroom, a storeroom, a kitchen, a well, and dustbin. The kitchen had a fireplace with an oven in the courtyard. Bathroom had the paved and the slanting floor. Doors and windows opened on the streets. The house's drains emptied wastewater into the street drains, which led to the main drains, which emptied themselves into the outskirts of the city. It means the cities were built on a grid system, as we have discussed. The roads, about 4 to 10-meter wide, cut each other at right angles, dividing the city into two blocks. There were also arrangements for the street lighting. Dustbins were provided at regular intervals to keep the roads clean. Houses made of the burnt bricks were built on the both sides of the roads. The doors were and windows open towards the side alley. Inside the house there was a courtyard and the rooms were built around it. Mostly the buildings were double stories. One of the most remarkable features of the city was that Indus Valley civilization has their own drainage system. Every house was connected with the sewage system. The sewage lines were running through the middle streets and were properly covered by the stones. Covered drains ran along both sides of the streets, and drains from each house flowed into the sewers under the main street. According to Dr. A.D. Paluskar, a visitor to the ruins of Mohenjo-Daro is struck by the remarkable skill in the town planning. The city was creation of careful forethought and planning. The ruins of the Mohenjo-Daro shows that the remarkable town planning of the Indus Valley civilization. Next feature is the drainage system. The Indus Valley people had a high sense of health and sanitation, and they possessed an elaborate drainage system. Each house had its own small drain with the were directly connected with the street drain, which ran under the main street and below many lanes. Each house had its own soak pit, and water flowed from the soak pit into the underground sewer in the street. The drain was made of the mortar, lime, and gypsum. They were covered with the bricks and stones. There was a main hole at regular intervals for inspection. People did not throw ash and other refuse in the drains. All this shows that the drains were constructed on the scientific lines, and other drainage system was into the way inferior to the underground drainage system of the modern times. In this connection, Professor S.R. Sharma writes, archaeologists have marveled at the skill with which the whole system was planned and constructed. It means one of the most remarkable feature of the cities of Indus Valley civilization was their drainage system. Hygiene was the great importance. There were facilities for the individual bathing, and the water was collected from the wells. Every house was connected with the sewage system. The sewage lines were running through the middle streets and were properly covered by the stones. Covered drains ran along with the sides of the streets, and the drains from each house flowed into the sewer under the main streets. Drains were made of the mortar, lime, and gypsum. This is the material used for making the drains. Since huge stone slabs covered the drains, there were the opening at the regular intervals for cleaning. One saying by S.P. Tripathi, bathrooms and the circulars, wells were important feature of most houses. The system of drainage, public and private, was remarkable. There was a remarkable drainage system of the people of Indus Valley civilization. Civic organization. The Indus Valley people lived in a well-planned towns. The town has adequate arrangements for the water supply. The discovery of lamppost in interval reveals the existence of the street lighting. Sanitation was also properly looked after. Rubbish was thrown into the dustbins. The sweepers kept the cities neat and clean. Buildings were not allowed to encroach upon the public roads. There were inns for the travelers. The system of watch and ward at the night also existed. Nobody could build pottery kilns in the city. All these things indicate the existence of some civic organization whose authority was well respected by the people. It was been rightly said that the well-planned towns, elaborate system of drainage, and efficient civic organization were the monumental achievements of the Indus Valley people. It means the Indus Valley people live in a well-planned towns. There were the arrangement for the street lighting. Dustbins were also provided at regular intervals to keep the roads clean. Houses were also made of the burnt bricks. They were built on the both sides of the roads. Moreover, buildings were not allowed to encroach upon the public roads. Inns were also built for the travelers to take their rest. Moreover, they all have to follow the rules and regulations. There were some civic organizations and they were well respected by the people. People were also follow the rules and regulations. It is rightly said that the well planned towns, elaborate system of drainage, and effective civic organization were remarkable of Indus Valley civilization. Today we will do till here and you will have to reread this part, learn the basic term and kindly follow the SNAP homework. Thank you.